Hi, and welcome to Teaching Tip Tuesday, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning at UWSP. As we begin a new semester, many instructors are dreading the first day of class. It's understandable, because for faculty and students, the first day of class is often the most boring. Traditionally, the instructor covers the syllabus, goes over course policies, and the general course schedule, including the major assignments and exams. A lot of instructors also collect information about students and their majors or career goals. For students, the monotony of the typical first day of class activities can make all of their courses feel the same. But the first day of class is more than just an introduction. It's an opportunity to establish a positive learning environment, set clear expectations, and engage students from the very beginning. So this week, I'd like to help you say goodbye to the boring first day of class and help you usher in a more productive and engaging first encounter with your students. The first day of class sets the tone for the rest of the term, so you should use it to establish the classroom climate. Best practice is to encourage a climate of respect, belonging, and engagement. As you plan for your first day of class, consider how you might accomplish this. What you're looking for are activities that will still cover the key content about the course, but reduce the focus on the instructor. You don't want to establish an expectation that students will just sit mutely and listen to you drone on and on throughout the term. You want to encourage student participation. Getting students actively engaged, soliciting their input, and recognizing their lived experience and current competencies can help them develop a sense of belonging. You can also begin forming relationships. Student success is directly tied to their social experience in a course. You want students to form a positive relationship with you, the instructor, and with other members of the class, so interactive exercises are great at this point. Here are a few activities that you might be able to adapt for your first day of class. First, course policy bingo. You can produce bingo cards with various combinations of course policies in the squares. You can do this pretty easily in Microsoft Excel. Play bingo as you cover course policies. I can guarantee that students will pay much more attention to what you're saying and will remember the policies better than if you just tell them the policies. When a student calls bingo, ask that student to repeat the policies they got in a row or in the corners and then award a prize. These don't need to be big things. You can give them a get-out-of-syllabus quiz free card or a sticker or a mini candy bar. Those are all good things from the perspective of a student. If you really want to cement the memory of these policies in your students' minds, you can pair this activity with a syllabus quiz on Canvas that opens up after class. This activity is fun for students, but it lacks a social dimension. An alternative that is more social is an interactive syllabus review. This is a great exercise to break the ice and get students talking to one another while simultaneously hitting the basics of course goals, learning outcomes, rules, expectations, and schedules. To conduct this exercise, you should distribute hard copies of the syllabus. Then allow 5 minutes or so for individual review of the syllabus and syllabus policies. After this, have students pair up. Give them a couple moments to introduce themselves and find out something interesting about each other. Then let the students work together to answer a question that you pose about a specific section of the syllabus. Ask the pairs to note anything that is confusing to them in the syllabus section that you're reviewing. After this is done, switch the pairs up and repeat the procedure with questions about a different section of the syllabus. This is a great way to cover the basics while getting students to meet one another, open up, and hopefully loosen up a bit. If you follow this up with a question and answer session, you'll find that listening to the students' questions about the syllabus will help you see your syllabus through their eyes, so that next term you can be more clear. Now, how about the airing of the interests and the fears? This activity is fun. You can distribute note cards to the students at the beginning of class, but instruct the students not to put their names on the cards. Ask the students to write down, first, the thing that they're most interested in learning in your class during the coming term, and second, their biggest fears, concerns, or worries about the course. Have the students exchange cards with other students in different parts of the classroom. At least 4 cards should pass through the hands of any student. It's best if you give them a time limit for this portion of the activity. So tell them they need to complete 4 exchanges in 2 minutes and that they have to know the names and majors of the students that they exchanged with, as well as one other interesting fact about the other person. Then choose students at random to read the interest or the fear that's on the card that they end up with. The exchanging of cards is a good icebreaker, and stressing different areas of the classroom makes it both kinetic and energetic. It's a great first step for students to get to know one another, and it's a great way for you to gin up enthusiasm for future course topics. As the students read their cards, you can highlight your own excitement about the topics they touch on. And as they read specific fears and concerns, you can work toward cultivating a sense of belonging, since students will find out that they're not alone in having specific concerns. You can work as a class to think of how to best quell those fears. Another alternative for you is collaborative syllabus creation. Ask students for policy input. You can read a draft policy and solicit feedback, or survey students for suggestions about what they think is most important for them for each of the course policies or expectations that you might have. You can review the schedule in major exams or assignments and solicit input on ways that you might evaluate their achievement of course learning outcomes. You can also solicit input for the timing of assignments. This can be very important for students since they tend to have a lot of due dates in different courses at the same time during the term. If you aren't comfortable negotiating any of these details from scratch with your students, you don't need to give them carte blanche. You can offer them choices. This can give students a better sense of ownership over what happens in the course, and that's often tied to increased compliance and valuation for assignments. It also sets a tone for the course in which you've demonstrated great respect for the students' experiences, values, and schedules. Switching things up on the first day of class is a great way to set a positive tone for the rest of the term, and it really engages students in your course. And that's this week's teaching tip, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning here at UWSP. Remember, at CITL, we offer support for course design, learning activities, assessment, and pedagogy. Visit our website to schedule a consultation today.